Greetings everyone. Today we are with Mr. Rajesh Khurana, the country head of consumer view at Biwin Storage. Sir has a rich background in the IT industry, including his previous role at Seagate Technology. Sir has experience of almost 30 years. Sir, can you share insights into your career journey?
Yeah, thanks, Vignesh. I'll take you through 3 decades, maybe around 1992. I graduated in electrical engineering. Just after my college, I joined a R&D firm called Infocom Digital Systems, which was involved in producing SCSI controller cards from India and then exporting to European and US markets. So I was hired for an intern as well as sales and marketing engineer. And from there, I learned the technology background of the industry and did my stint there for around 3 years. Went to US also from that company, and later on moved to a pioneer in the industry, in the Indian industry, the DCM Data Systems. There, I did some 1 year approximately stint for software selling, and then I got an opportunity to work for as an Intel product manager for Godrej Pacific, because Godrej was, I think that during that time it was Godrej Trading and Services Limited, and it was coming into India with a professional distribution setup. In fact, in the industry, Redington and Godrej started the professional distribution system in the Indian IT industry. So, I joined Godrej Pacific from DCM, and there my actual distribution setup in Void started, where I was appointed as a Intel product manager for North India uh, for Godrej Pacific. That stint was a did for 4 or 5 years in Godrej Pacific. It was a big learning for me, looking at the professional distribution, appointing sub distributors, resellers, value-added resellers, uh, and after that, I got an opportunity when MNCs were coming into India in a big way, and Seagate was one of them. In 2001, I believe February, I was appointed as the business development manager for Seagate in India, and that's how I came into the storage industry specifically. Did for 5 years, and in 5 years I got promoted as a country head for them, and did various stints looking at India market, grew them from scratch to almost what you see Seagate till 2016. So around 16 years approximately, I was with Seagate heading the South Asia region. Then I diversified into getting after Seagate, I diversified into getting projects for different companies into India where they could establish them. So I forayed into some retail business for 3 years. And recently, after the COVID thing, companies who wanted to come to India and establish their brand in India. So I joined one of the company uh, called Biwin Storage, which predominantly is the biggest flash storage manufacturer for all kind of storage devices. They are one number one IC packaging company, and as an IC packaging company, you basically convert the fab into different storage formats. So, like your mobile phones, your PCs, your medical electronic requirements, your EV requirements. And so I was tasked to start the business for Acer branded storage products as well as HP branded storage products, which is flash based products. So last it's been now 3 years for me, and we've done very well here. In fact, Acer grown from scratch to in last 3 years we reached all across India, and from just not India, I've got now SAARC, I've got Africa also in my kitty through Biwin. So journey has been quite fruitful, and I can contribute. One of the biggest thing is the growth factor coming into India because of the way we Indians are using IT. I think the biggest thing I see in the industry is that India is one of the biggest user of online business in the world. In fact, the transactions I was reading here and there on the monetary front is the highest in one of the highest in India, and that has contributed to a lot at the back end to increase semiconductor based storage, which is flash based storage, and that is what resulted in I think one of the biggest opportunity for me as a career wise, and I did went about in a big way. And last 3 years has been a big growth for us, both HP and Acer. And we're coming out with another brand which will release soon in January onward.
So nice to hear. That's quite a remarkable journey of yours. I mean, to hear from you, the journey from Godrej to Seagate to now Biwin, that's a remarkable journey. Young IT professionals such as me look forward to even try to replicate what you have done for the industry.
Thank you.
Moving on, sir, to our next question. In your current role as country head of consumer BU, India, South Asia, and South Africa at Biwin Storage, what are the primary objectives and strategies? What challenges and opportunities do you see in the Indian market? And how does Biwin differentiate its product, particularly in terms of quality and innovation?
Right. So let me talk about first point, the strategies and objectives. So as I said, when you bring a brand, the brand should be able to reach as many as consumers in the continent, which is what I primary objective is. So for Acer and HP, we wanted that maximum cities, maximum resellers, maximum consumers who want to upgrade to SSDs are able to access the product and through right distribution model. So we appointed Fortune Marketing, ABC, URST to spearhead our distribution network through which the products went downstream to various resellers, retailers, e-commerce platforms. So our strategy was very clear to go one by one and use the already brand name of Acer and HP coupled with the manufacturing expertise of Biwin technology. We combined these two strengths and presented the product in the market, which was like the best quality product coming from the best distributors in the Indian continent. So it was a win-win situation for all the community. The biggest challenge we face is because we are like brand, but there is a lot of spurious products going in the market, a lot of products which are not quality, and people try to use them, and then they realize after burning their fingers that the products fail very fast, and then those are the challenges, which is a continuous challenge. So we have to educate people, we have to let people use the products. So as a brand, when you talk about branded products, we have to make sure that the quality is number one. So if you look at our SD cards, our USB drives, our SSD drives, they are A1 quality, spearheaded by, in fact, augmented by the brand image of the best products which people use. Plus, the manufacturing capabilities of Biwin is more than like 2 decades in the industry. So, and they have been producing stuff for various verticals, medical electronics, electrical vehicles, industrial storage. So they have a lot of experience in producing quality stuff. So those coupled together with the brand knowledge as well as the reach of the distributors, we were able to mitigate the challenges and we've done well over there. So third point was the quality, right? Yeah, I covered quality, like it's very important to have your infrastructure of the manufacturing process in place. So Biwin is one of the best infrastructures to, our IC packaging yield rate is 99.99%. So that talks about the quality of the product. And there's a before any product comes out of the factory, it's rigorously tested. In the semiconductor industry, what is important is how diligently you perform the testing procedure. In fact, we also outsource our testing services to other customers. So people can come to our factories and get their product tested because we have one of the best machines to test the products in the semiconductor industry. So quality wise, we make sure that RMA process, the return rate is very low, the quality is properly fed to the market, which is absolutely the finest in the world.
Okay, sir. That was really an insightful answer that you gave us about Biwin's technology and how Biwin's ensure that their products are the best quality. Moving on to our next question, how is Biwin Storage incorporating emerging technologies into its product line like AI, IoT, 5G, and particularly in the areas of embedded storage chips?
Yeah. So as I said, Biwin is world's number one IC packaging house, and it actually takes the fab from the vendors and converts it into different formats of the storage requirement. Like, you know, let's say you have a spectacles, your storage requirement for a spectacle will be very minute. So we can do that. We can convert that into the minute form of storage. So what I say as an example is the IoT devices. So we see a humongous emergence of IoT devices, whether it is through wearables, whether it is through medical devices, whether it is through your electrical vehicles. So there are humongous demand, or in fact requirement for these devices coming up, and each of these devices require storage on the go, which is very different formats, and normally it is very minute format. The mobile phones, for example, a very simple example, which was the earlier form of what I say IoT device. But today, you have different forms of IoT devices. You have even, in fact, new variables coming in which require a lot of data processing. At the end, it will capture the data, it will transmit it to the data center, but at the same time, you require local on the edge processing where this semiconductor based flash storage is very useful. That's where Biwin comes into the picture and provides these kind of backend to these devices. The new thing is the AI, the artificial intelligence as people. Actually, if you ask me what is AI, AI is basically it's about ones and zeros being processed very fast. It's all about data. It's a fancy word, I would say, AI. But when you look at ones and zeros collaborating together, and the requirement there is the fast speed. Because what the AI does is it takes up huge amount of data, processes, and throws back the result. But that latency has to be very fast, low latency. So what are the things going on? Like your rendering of video graphics, you require that kind of things. So rendering of video graphics was the first, I must say, to use our chips. But AI has now become perverse all across it. You are seeing it. So basically, I put it as advent of AI is a boon to the semicon industry in a way. Plus, it is vice versa also. The semiconductor is helping the AI industry, which is helping the humanity to produce solutions which you could not even think of earlier. The, the data processing requires high speeds, megabytes, and like the latest SSDs, Generation 4 SSDs, now come at 7,500 megabytes per second, which third generation was 3,000 approximately, and NVMe then, which is like 5 to 6 times faster than the normal SSDs. So people are now aware of that, and when you look at the gaming environment, even faster access required. So we have Predator series. Like Predator series is known for its gaming world name. We're authorized by Predator to manufacture and distribute their RAMs, SSDs across the world, and we see a lot of adoption in those gamers which value the quality and the speed latency, the lowest latency in the world. So it's like, I must say, Predator probably, I will say, Rolls Royce of the gamers. So they understand that, and those guys who know those technicals, they go for it. So when I say technology, it's all about having a good experience. Whether it is, when you say good experience, it is relative to your field. A doctor will have a good experience if he can diagnose. A gamer has a good experience if he finds it thrilling. A video renderer will have it without any hiccups. He can produce a movie or edit. All these applications, or applications can be many, require a semiconductor which is fast, which is quality wise, you don't have any rejections, and which you can use easily. So all these parameters are provided by Biwin in their products. The flash storage is one of the best products we provide in the storage market.
So very interesting insight on AI, and especially you quite very rightly mentioned that semiconductors are the core of everything, be it
Yeah.
medical, be it electrical vehicles, be it laptops and gaming. Any industry, semiconductors are the core of it, and you are handling it as of now. Lastly, sir, can you share your personal leadership philosophy and how it guides your decision making in this fast paced and ever evolving IT industry?
Yeah, so it's not very different. It's first thing is you need to be with the ground. You need to know what's happening in your area of expertise, and once you know that as a leader, you must be able to communicate well. So my proposition is: you have a product, you have a consumer. Make sure there is a good communication happening across, because once in India, what is happening is there is your team, there is a gamut of channels. Then channel layers are like 4 5 resellers, distributors, e-commerce everywhere. So when you look at what is leadership, leadership is taking all together and without any hiccups. And if there are challenges, solve them. So at times we see a lot of challenges coming up, and at different sections of the conduit of channel, we see a lot of challenges. As a leadership mantra, I would say, don't get bogged down with it. Look at the end result, how you're going to perform, look at what you expect, and then resolve it by properly communicating. What I see in my entire 35 years experience is, if communication can be improved, that is one of the biggest, because we all want success, and success is defined by success itself. So once we talk in that language, communication is just the bottleneck which can be removed. So all you need to do is, my mantra is, communicate well, communicate many times. That's how, and don't overestimate or underestimate anybody at the same time. Everybody has a role to play. That's why God has given us birth together, right? So my point is, we are in a very, and what is good about India is, and very exciting, this next 15 years is, I was reading somebody saying earlier it was made in India, it was lion roaring in India, but now the new word is the inevitable India. I will close my remark. I'm copying somebody, I don't know whom I was reading. Now it's the time for the inevitable India. You can't stop it. We're there. Next 15, 20 years is our. And I must say, this is the time we can monetize, we can use anything. Everybody is looking at India in a big way. That's how I put it. Very, right time for all of us to be in this history of mankind. We were all set together to change it. And that's how I look at it.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for a very insightful session. I personally have learned a lot and learned a lot about the industry and your insights. I think IT Voice audience will also learn a lot from this interview. We thank you for that. And lastly, on any note, it's time for Inevitable India, as sir
Yeah.
said.